JBN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, Area 3 police on alert after death threat over killing of Clarendon wanted man. The Area 3 police are now on alert after receiving a death threat from a man believed to be connected to slain Clarendon wanted man Fitzroy O.J. Core. The Area 3 police comprise Clarendon, Manchester, and St. Elizabeth. The threat was reportedly issued last week while Core, 25, was being buried in Woodside, Clarendon. Core was shot dead in a police operation in December last year in the community of Mayday, south of Mandeville, Manchester. He was a reported leader of the Lion Paw and Bushman gangs, which operate out of the Farm and Effortville communities of Clarendon. A senior law enforcement official that requested not to be named said that cops are taking the threat seriously. He also said the police know the person who made the threat. Core evaded the Jamaican authorities in 2017 after he was listed as wanted for murder and shooting. On the date of his burial, the police carried out a targeted operation and found 3 illegal guns and several rounds of assorted ammunition. Several people were detained. A resident of Farm said that the police have increased their operations since Core's killing. St. Mary farmer charged with brother's murder. The police have laid a charge against a farmer for allegedly killing his brother during a dispute at their home in Springfield District, St. Mary last week. 53-year-old Clyde Sr., otherwise called Holmes, has been charged with the murder of 51-year-old Osmond Sr., also a farmer of Springfield District. Clyde is to appear in the St. Mary Parish Court on May 6, advised the police. It was reported that on Saturday, April 24, at about 11 p.m., Osmond and his brother had an argument at their home. The dispute subsequently escalated into a physical fight between them, during which Clyde reportedly used a concrete block to hit Osmond on the head. The now accused then fled the area. On Sunday, residents of the community found Osmond lying on the ground covered with blood and alerted the police. He was later pronounced dead. Acting on intelligence, the suspected attacker was picked up by the police in another community in St. Mary. He was subsequently charged after swift investigations, the police reported. Alleged lottery scammer arrested and charged on return to the island. A 32-year-old electrician has been charged with various offenses under the Proceeds of Crime Act. He has been identified as Romain Ricardo Jarrett of a Flower Hill district address in Montego Bay, St. James. He has been charged with conspiracy to defraud, possession of criminal property, conspiracy to possess criminal property, conspiracy to transport criminal property into Jamaica, and engaging in transactions involving criminal property. Jarrett, who was a person of interest in an ongoing money laundering probe being conducted by the Financial Investigations Division, FID, and the Constabulary Financial Unit, was arrested after disembarking a flight at the Sangster International Airport on April 26, 2021. In one instance, dating back as far as 2011, law enforcement officers in the United States visited the home of a lottery scamming victim after identifying that the person fell prey to a fraudulent scheme. A sworn statement was given by the victim, who fingered Jarrett as the main fraudster. The FID's principal director, Keith Darren, said they have been trying to get a hold of Jarrett since 2015. Jarrett was offered bail in the sum of $400,000 and is scheduled to appear in the Savlamar Parish Court on May 19. Attorney Patrick Bailey suspended by General Legal Counsel. The General Legal Counsel, JLC, says Attorney Patrick Bailey has been suspended from practice after being found guilty of professional misconduct. The JLC made the disclosure in a notice published in today's edition of the Jamaica Observer, saying that the order, which took effect on April 13, was made by a panel of its disciplinary committee after hearing evidence of a complaint brought against Bailey by Melissa Golding. The JLC said Bailey was ordered to make restitution to Golding in the sum of $195,000 and cost of $20,000 to her, as well as $20,000 to the JLC. The council also said that Bailey is not entitled to practice until restitution is made. Fisherman on gun charge gets $300,000 bail. A Kingston fisherman who police say threw away a firearm and ran, was on Thursday offered $300,000 bail when he appeared in the gun court. The 41-year-old accused, Christopher Thompson, who is from Greenwich Park, was offered bail by Justice Sonia Wint Blair on charges of illegal possession of firearm and illegal possession of ammunition after a successful application by his attorney-at-law Matthew Hyatt. While denying the allegations against his client, Hyatt argued that there is no evidence to support the police's claim. Thompson is scheduled to return to court on June 24. It is alleged that about 12:15 a.m. on February 26, a police team was carrying out an operation in the Greenwich town community when they observed a man who was running along a pathway drop an object. The man was reportedly chased and held. According to the police, the team seized a firearm. Thompson was subsequently arrested and charged. Stick to COVID protocols to avoid third wave of virus, says Dr. Tufton. Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton, says that while the coronavirus COVID-19 numbers and positivity rate are trending downwards, Jamaicans should continue adhering to the infection prevention and control measures in order to avoid a third wave of the virus. He said Jamaica has, so far, experienced 2 surges of COVID-19, noting that the consequences of the surge we're currently going through have been far more severe than the first one we went through last year. What we saw as a consequence were higher numbers of hospitalizations, higher numbers of deaths, unfortunately, Dr. Tufton stressed. He was addressing the ministry's COVID Conversations virtual press conference on April 29, providing statistics. Dr. Tufton said that in the peak week of the first surge, the country saw 1,154 cases compared to 4,082 in the peak week of the second surge. This translated to the death of some 31 persons in the peak week of the first surge, and we had 59 in the peak week of the second surge. In the peak week of the first surge, bed occupancy for confirmed and suspected cases of COVID-19 went up to 309, and in the peak week of the second surge, we saw 716, he noted further. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Jacqueline Bisesa-McKenzie said that as many as 10,700 cases could be recorded in the peak week of a possible third wave. Our starting point is not going to be as low as it was in August last year, or even in December of last year. We're going to have higher starting points that are going to result in possibly very, very high rates, she warned. She noted that as COVID-19 cases rise, the number of deaths could increase to as many as 180 in a peak week. It means also that there's going to be severe stress on our beds, and we could be needing as many as 1,900 beds. Do we have 1,900 beds? We do not. We see what is happening in other countries. Hospitals are closing their gates because they do not have oxygen. They do not have beds. It can happen to us, she pointed out. Dr. Bisesa-McKenzie is imploring Jamaicans not to become complacent. She said that several countries, such as Germany, Italy, France, Poland, Spain, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Indonesia, the Philippines, Brazil, Peru, and Iran have gone into third phases because as soon as there was a decrease in the number of cases, persons started to become complacent. Now is the time that we have to ensure that we take the precautions, that we continue to maintain our restrictions. We have to decrease exposure, wear our mask, keep physical distancing, stay at home, avoid gatherings, social and business, so that we can keep our reproductive rates down, keep our positivity rate down, keep our hospitalizations down, she noted. 8 more die from COVID as infections increase by 164. 8 more people have died from the coronavirus COVID-19 as the country recorded 164 new infections in the past 24 hours. The latest figures pushed the death toll to 778 from 45,578 cases since the outbreak. 5 of the deaths were recorded in Kingston and St. Andrew, 3 females aged 56, 96, and 84, and 2 males aged 83 and 61. The other 3 deaths were a 42-year-old male, a 92-year-old male, and an 86-year-old female, all in Westmoreland. The new cases were recorded in all parishes as follows: St. Catherine 41, Kingston and St. Andrew 34, St. James 18, St. Mary 15, Manchester 12, St. Elizabeth 10, St. Anne 7, Clarendon 6, Westmoreland 6, Portland 5, Hanover 4, St. Thomas 3, and Trelawney 3. Meanwhile, a total of 114 people recovered from the virus in the past 24 hours, and the number of active cases is 23,409. There are 204 people in hospital, with 19 critically ill and 11 moderately ill. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.